do this? Yes, you can. You can do this. Obey yourself, obey your rules, get out when it's going against you, because that's the human condition that we really fight against. That's the biggest problem with day traders. They make a plan, they make a day trading plan, they practice in a sim, and then when real life comes along with real money, they don't listen to themselves because they feel like the trade's too big to lose or whatever. They say to themselves, it's going to turn around. I know it is. The data says, the professor said, if this shows this, it's going to turn around. No, maybe, maybe turn around. Everything's a maybe, but obviously you're stacking up the percentages in your favor. And that's what this whole strategy was developed for, this whole thing. Now I'll go into more detail in another video about how strike and recoil has kind of updated this a bit, and for much more short term, and basically teaches you how to scalp more than, a little bit, kind of an in between the tortoise and the hare, some other animal in there that gets you doing quicker trades on a little bit different, tighter data. When you learn how to scalp, you can then apply it to any kind of trading. That's what's so good about this. So it's just obeying your own rules, guys. But this strategy is amazing, and I highly recommend it. Now, a couple other things. How to find the perfect entry, large and mega caps only. Now, this is going to be covered in the book. If you don't own the book, I'm just going to go over it with you. So if you want to get all the information in the book and not pay for it, I'll tell you that little trick too. I mean, it's good to have it on your desk. But I'm talking about this one book because it kind of has a lot of the bones of what I just discussed, but I went beyond it a bit. And that trading has changed a little bit since 2022. But as far as like the Bible to have, yeah, I would have Day Trading Volume 1. It was a bestseller and still is for a reason. Well, let's go over this. We'll start with defining a perfect entry of a trade taken inside a known range. So we just talked about range. This is the best in a price level that has already been proven, okay? Our focus should be on mega and large cap stocks. We are not looking for momentum or catalyst, like in other words, a breakout on a particular stock, but rather trading a rotation and retracement. That's a great word, right? I'm not even sure that's in the book, but the rotation is the retracement. It's like they're using the word rotate. It's going to rotate around. It's just going to keep coming back. I mean, again, it might break out and not come back, but the great thing about the large and mega cap stocks is they most always come back. So you get to ride that action, right? Unless they're making a big move. So news from the White House could change that. If it happens to be a medical stock, some huge breakout drug, you just don't trade this strategy with that type of stuff. But you go to a different kind of momentum type or scalping strategy. But catalysts are not our friends. Option Fridays are not our friends. You want nothing. You just want the basic stuff. People are just going in and almost they're asleep when they're pressing their keys, when their brokers are just like, yeah, I'm moving that 20,000 shares. I'm doing this 5,000 shares. Or somebody else says, oh, I put in 100 to buy a market. And it's just like every day, the same stuff, not expecting a big move, but they're thinking over time it's going to go their way. They're not waiting for it to go their way that day, not in the microcosm like I'm showing you how to trade. The safety of that is what is the huge thing about this strategy. So the first step is to find the right stock selection using scanners to find stocks with at least $25 billion market cap. Remember, I talked about that. That means they're not going to move very quickly. Trading at least 100,000 shares or more in 1 minute. Okay. That's a scalp and recoil strategy more. That focused, the scalp and recoil focused on this one thing a lot more, because getting it, particularly when I trade for like just a half hour, an hour, I need the stocks to be moving. I can't wait for the tortoise. I want the tortoise for the overall move. I don't want it to do something crazy, but I need to kind of move those short 1 minute moves, pretty good range pretty good opportunity to get 10 cents, 20 cents with 50 shares, 100 shares, 200 shares, and then you make 10 or 15 trades. Before you know it, you have $100, $200, $500 a day. Suddenly you have $2,000, $4,000, $10,000 a month. It changes your life. You make a living. But do you want to sit in front of it, the screen all day? I do, but I do it with different sessions. But you might be limited time, and I'm making a video, and I kind of need to show that entertainment value. So I combined what I needed, and it turned out that it's a really viable strategy, almost by mistake. It was something to explain how to scalp by the strike and recoil strategy. I think I always call it the scalp and recoil, strike and recoil, where a snake strikes and you go the opposite direction. You're looking for the recoil. So if it goes up, you trade short. It goes down. If it goes short, you trade up. Because for a short period of time, which could be seconds, you get 5 cents, 10 cents on the recoil. And you get out. You get out real quick. $5, $10, $20. You know, that's strike and recoil. And in order for that to work that way, it has to be moving a lot of shares in a 1 minute period. And how I determine that, we'll come back to this, is I look right here on either the ask or the bid, either will work, and I make note of a certain number, like 65 cents, right? And then I kind of count in my head, is that going to move 10 to 15 cents in 10 to 15 seconds? So if I see it move that fast, then I know it has affording me lots of opportunities to make 10 to 15 cents within 1 minute, and probably 2 or 3 times within 1 minute. So I can quick do that recoil, 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 or recoil, 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 whichever way it's going after it strikes. So a situation like this, when it, even as it was going up, it didn't just go up. It went up and went down, went up and went down, it went up and went down. Strike and recoil, strike and recoil. So all the way up, I could have gotten, taken a profit and gotten right back in, all the way up here. So even in a 1 minute candle, that's what happens, guys. So anyway, I developed a scanner that finds those stocks. You can get it at the $1 Million Margin Club. I think it's like $4. You might be able to find it free on my channel. I think I have it on some of the videos, but it might be worth you just to spend $4. And I have those. I think that they're here. Yeah, let me open this up here. So, professors. Yeah, I think this is one right here. Well, let's just go to one here. So this is 50K. This actually would be a good one here. So let's see what it shows. So all these stocks would have come up on the scanner. To trade.